The 4-kilometer hike to Kinney Lake in Mount Robson Provincial Park is an easy walk with a minimal elevation gain and is absolutely worth doing in any season. I must be at the 2-kilometer mark on the Kinney Lake Trail at Mount Robson Provincial Park in BC. This trail is very popular. It's a multi-use trail. Bikers can go up to a campsite at Kinney Lake, and as of today, August 2023, the trail is open up to the campsite of Kinney Lake, and the trail to Berg Lake beyond that has been closed since 2019. And if you remember, 2019 we had the big atmospheric river in BC, and that caused a lot of problems all over the province, including this provincial park. So the trail was destroyed in many places. There were landslides, rocks came down, and the BC parks are hoping to have the full trail open by 2025. So I'm hoping I shall be back and be able to do the backpacking trip all the way to Berg Lake and beyond. I came here first in 2011 September, just on a day hike on an RV trip, and then I was so enchanted by this area that in October 2020 I came up to the campsite at Kinney Lake and actually camped for the night in the snow. All this trail that you're seeing now was fully snow covered. I had to use my snowshoes, but it was a great trip. And since then, it's been 3 years, almost 3 years, and I'm glad to be back at the Kinney Lake Trail at Mount Robson. So that sign is completely new. It wasn't there in 2020. Where Robson falls over a little cascade. Just past the 4-kilometer mark, you reach the outflow of the lake, where there is a little bridge to cross over to the other side. The campground at Kinney Lake is a further 2 kilometers away, with a very slight uphill climb in the initial part of the trail. I have just passed the 6-kilometer mark on the Berg Lake Trail at Mount Robson. I'm walking along the shores of Kinney Lake, and I shall soon be at the campsite of Kinney Lake. Right now, this is as far as the trail has been opened since 2019 after the big floods and landslides and all around destruction of the trail. And I'm really keen to see what this place looks like since October 2020, when I camped here along the shores of Kinney Lake. So the tent pad that you see behind me is exactly where I had pitched my tent in October 2020. And of course it looked very different then. There was snow all around. Somebody has pitched the tent today. So it is a very pretty campsite, very pretty location right by the water. I'm glad I came back to have a look almost 3 years later, because the water level is way more right now than in October, because October all the melt has finished, and that is it. That is the little picnic shelter. Is a view back from where I came. Back in 2020, I could actually walk from the tent along, maybe the water was 20 yards away, and there was a beach all along till the creek which feeds into the lake, and everything else was snow covered here. Yeah. I am standing just beyond the campsite at Kinney Lake on what used to be the trail going onwards to Berg Lake, and which has been destroyed 3 years ago by the flash floods and a whole series of climatic events in November of 2019, starting with the atmospheric rain and the landslides, etc. So this used to be where the trail led up and beyond Kinney Lake campsite. This is what is left. You can see I'm standing on it, and it goes down. The word is that the parks will be fixing this trail next year in phase 2. They've already fixed the trail up to the Kinney Lake campsite, and let's hope for the best. Hopefully I can come back in 2 years' time or even next year and go up to the next point on this what used to be a wonderful trail. The Mount Robson Berg Lake Trail is world renowned, but for now we have to be happy with what we've got left. You can see how this whole slew of rocks and rubble has come down and destroyed what once used to be a well-groomed trail. I am walking towards the end of the lake at this point, at this end of the lake, where I had come earlier in 2020. It looks so very different now. It is, I think it's not as pretty as in the winter months or late autumn, the snow. So this is as far as I'm walking today. I have walked all the way from that end of the lake through the campsite at Kinney Lake, and right now I am standing at the end, and from here you can see the valley above behind me. That is where the trail used to go to Emperor Falls.
If you enjoyed watching this video, please consider subscribing to my channel, Active Senior Life. Your comments and likes mean a great deal to me, so feel free to add them below. Thanks once again, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye for now.